Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of An Extra Slice of History with the Butterfly Princess. Today, we are continuing with our mini series within a series where I'm telling you about the the seven wonders of the ancient world. We have finally reached our penultimate episode of this mini series before I move on to tell you about the new seven wonders of the world. So, in this week's episode, we are discussing the sixth ancient wonder of the world, which is known as the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Now, this is located in what is now known as Bodrum, which is located in what is now known as modern day Turkey. What was the mausoleum? Well, the mausoleum located at Helicassus was in actual fact a very large tomb. And this tomb was built by a ruler of Helicassus, known as Mausoleus. Now, he was the ruler of. He became the ruler of Cario within the year of 350 BCE. And this structure that was made of marble was so huge and immense, and it was so highly decorated with a number of striking sculptures that this was how it became on the list, became one of the seven ancient wonders of the world. And this is where it gave its name to a large funeral momentum known as a mausoleum. Now, unfortunately, like many of the ancient wonders of the world, which was apart from, of course, the Great Pyramids of Giza, this monumental structure isn't available to us in its full grandeur today. This is because it was destroyed by a very damaging earthquake that left a lot of destruction within its wake. And I remember discussing another ancient wonder of the world, which was destroyed by an earthquake, which was, I think it was the temple of the statue of the Greek god Zeus. I'm sure it's that, though I'm not 100%. If you want to know more and to sort of recap on what other ancient wonder was destroyed by an earthquake, I would advise you to look back in the series of within the the playlist, which you can find it on the playlist entitled An Extra Slice of History of the Butterfly Princess. It will be on there within that playlist because I like to keep all my videos neat and tidy. So on YouTube, I have all my videos kept in individual playlists, and you can also watch them on the Butterfly Princess Show Facebook page. So anyway, back to the mausoleum at Helicassus. So anyway, due to the fact that although I should say, although that this monumental structure doesn't exist, still survive in its entirety today, there are still fragments that do survive to this day that give you sort of an idea of what this structure was and what was involved in making it into what it was. Um, um, you can also visit some of the pay a visit to the British Museum that is located in the capital city of England, London, as well as other monuments to other ancient wonders of the ancient world. The British Museum is also the home of of many sculptures that did decorate the Mausoleum of Helicassus in the ancient world. So, what is the connection between Marcellus, who was the ruler of 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 the circa, who was the ruler at the time, who built the Mausoleum, and his connection with Helicassus? Well, I will tell you about their connection now. Very sure. Um, so Mar Marcellus, um, Marcellus was, Marcellus was a bit of a startup of the ancient country of Persia, and Marcellus ruled semi-independently in Caria, which is located in modern day southeast Turkey between the years of 377 BC and Helicassus was select and the Helicassus was selected as the capital city of this little strip of Persia. And that was selected as the capital in the year of 370 BCE. Now, during this time, that Marcellus was semi-ruling this part of this Persia and Helicassus. This ancient city was already a very thriving and economically stable ancient city of the ancient world. And it is the celebrated birthplace of the 5th century BCE historian of the ancient world, Herodotus. Now, Herodotus has featured, I've mentioned him, Herodotus has made many cameo appearances throughout this mini-series where I've been describing the ancient wonders of the seven ancient wonders of the world. So he is he makes another cameo appearance in this episode. The city of Helicassus is a very aged and very celebrated prosperous ancient city. It dates back to it even dates back as far back to that of the Bronze Age. And when Marcellus came along and sort of the semi-ruler, he even built even more greatness onto this ancient city of Helicassus. He added more a range of of even more finer buildings, including a hard palace and several temples. And it was through the semi-rule of Mausoleum that Cairo, the city of Cairo, was able to prosper due to the development of coastal cities, which were then able to better capitalise on Eastern Mediterranean trade, especially with the island of Rhodes in Greece. The island of Rhodes has already featured in this series when I discussed the statue of Helicassus, which was located on the city of Rhodes. Because as well as many other great things that Mausoleum did, he also constructed a number of many roadworks, many networks that would make the city even prosperous. So he introduced the constructions of better roads. This would make connections even better and greater, and to even more enhance the prosperity of the prosperity of the region. And a lot of tax revenues and a lot of monies were able to flood freely into the capital city of Halicarnassus. So once these riches that were accumulated through the building of these many roads and different networks, the riches that were then accumulated and brought into the city through these riches were then able to enhance the coffers of Cario, and that could be then brought back into to enable them to spend more money on building more lavish buildings and projects that were the most lavish projects ever to be seen in the ancient world. Now, like every one of us, because we're all immortal, we will all die eventually. So did death come to Mausoleum. Now, when Mausoleum did eventually die in the year of 353 BCE, his body was entombed. Because when we die, we all think of like what's going to happen to our bodies. We're going to end up in a coffin, or we're either going to be cremated or buried or whatever. According to your religious beliefs, or if you're not religious, your body is still going to be interned back into the earth or wherever. So his body was entombed in what was to become known as the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. This tomb was planned by the ruler himself, so this wasn't just a practice practiced by the ancient ruler. You will see that in many ancient times, and particularly during the medieval times that rulers. So we have the time of, like, in the medieval times, we have the rulers of the Tudor dynasty planning for their tombs when they died. And we also had the example of Marcellus planning for his death. But we also had the pharaohs of ancient Egypt who would build great pyramids and tombs, and all that was in preparation for their for when their death came calling. They would make preparations on earth in order to make preparations for their death. So he planned this mausoleum. So Marcellus planned this mausoleum for himself and that of his descendants from the year of 367. So he made many preparations, many years for his death, before his actual death. And it was finished off by his sister wife. So obviously, again, we have that theme of ancient rulers keeping the royal bloodline pure by marrying members of their own family. So they would often marry members of their own family. So they would marry wives or sisters. They would marry wives or mothers. In the case of Marcellus, he actually married his sister, and she completed the building of this mausoleum. And when she died in the year around when she died, she was interned in this tomb with her husband Marcellus. It had a very big sacred meaning, and it was a very much sacred plot and a sacred symbol for the ruling dynasties. With this in mind, it was located right in a large principate that was located in the city centre, right, located within the regions of the city centre, and that was connected by a large monumental staircase. So I'm just going to give you some measurements now, just so you can get a sense of the monumental structure and what it took to build it and so forth. So the circumference of the building is in all 440 classical feet. That equals to 140 meters, and the breadth from north to south is 63 feet, equal to 20 meters. The two fronts being no so wide in it is 20 feet 5 cubits in height, and is surrounded by 36 columns. The outer circumference being known as the above the petrun. There is a pyramid erected formed of in height of the building below, and formed of 24 steps, which gradually tamper upwards towards the summit. A platform crowded with a representation of 4 horse chariots. The addition makes the total height of the work 140 40 feet, equal to 40, 45 meters, and this is according to the great work of the ancient world natural history that was written by the Roman writer Pliny the Elder, and he has also made a cameo appearance in this mini-series. So obviously, we've talked about how throughout this series there have been many modern day excavations carried out by modern day archaeologists, and this and the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus is no exception. A lot of modern day and years gone by archaeologists have visited this site and made excavations of it in order to discover and learn more about it, so that modern day audiences are always learning about ancient artifacts of the ancient world. So these modern day excavations have revealed the actual dimensions of the mausoleum, and these vary slightly from that of Pliny's descriptions in his work Natural Histories. The high podium or base is in fact measured 38 by 32 meters, that equals to 125 by 104 meters. According to the position of the cornerstone still in situ, these are the things that survive to this very day. There is a collaboration of 36 iconic columns and a pyramid with 24 steps. That is correct with what Pliny the Elder said in his work. A surviving lineal stone indicates the space in between the columns and suggests the overall dimensions of the building were in actual fact 32 by 26 meters, that equals 104 by 85 feet. A 2 meter 6.5 feet high wall once surrounding the whole mausoleum. So, one of the surviving fragments that survives to this day is in the form of a chariot wheel that is likely to have survived from one of the top sculptures that decorated the mausoleum, and this would have been according to modern day excavations, this would have measured over 2 meters in diameter, making the statue that this chariot wheel came from a total of 6 meters high. The actual tomb itself was believed to have been in the podium and fields of sacrificial remains, including oxen, lambs, and birds, suggest the building acting as the centre of a hero cult, likely dedicated towards Mausoleum's role as the city's co-founder. So again, we're returning to that theme of ancient of animal sacrifice that took place a lot during temple rituals during that of the ancient world. So a lot of animal sacrifices did take place throughout the ancient world, and this would indicate a good send off of the soul throughout its journey through to the next life. Um, and I would like to read you a description, well, a quote um, from a second century travel writer, which was why they feel that it was fully in grandeur and why they felt that it fully deserved its place among that of the seven wonders of the ancient world. So this is the quote from a second century CE travel writer. The one tomb, this is the quote, the one tomb Halicarnassus was made for Mausoleum, king of the city, and it is of such vast size and so notable for all its ornamental that the Romans in their great atrium of it called remarkable tombs in their country Mausoleum. So, as I've already discussed, there are some fragments that survive even to this day, and you will find you will find them housed in the British Museum located in London. And I'd just like to tell you now as a finishing off point of what some of this of what of of what these fragments include. So they include a male figure described as or it can also be described as an unidentified woman. Um, um, Swaps from the fences in several lions and horses in various farms. Uh, and if you went to visit the actual site of the mausoleum today, it more or less resembles an earth pit with a few stones and columns, drums strewn about. Nothing at all of a hint to hint what of the grand structure that once stood in its place. Um, it was possibly one of the greatest tombs of the ancient world that took a second place to that near of the pyramids of Egypt. Obviously, the great pyramids of Giza, that I discussed in the first episode of this mini series, will always obtain its will always obtain the first place spot as one of the greatest tombs of the ancient world. So that concludes this week's episode of the butterfly of an extra slice of history with the Butterfly Princess show. I hope you can join me next week for the next installment in the series. But until then, take care, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.